Hello and welcome back to Retrobotics. It has been a while. I think that's our standard intro at this point, because it's always been a while. I think it's been 2 videos since we picked up Inferno, and that would be 4 months ago. So there you go. So the story goes, in early October, browsing Facebook Marketplace one day and saw a listing for a vintage arcade game. And saw it and thought, oh, this is a really screwed up looking Joust. It was converted to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I figured somebody might want that board and threw it in the Discord server I was part of. And immediately regretted it, because not even a few seconds after I hit send, I did a double take and realized it was actually an Inferno. Now, Inferno, I talked about it in the previous video. Very, very rare game. And I'll talk a bit more about why in a few minutes, but needless to say, I was floored. So thankfully, the community in the Overtime Arcade Discord server was very, very nice, and they helped me get this machine. Dillweed, in particular, a good friend of ours, went and got it for us and actually shipped it over. So 4 months ago, in October, we picked up this game, and it was trashed. Really, really trashed. But we have, at this point now, totally restored it, and we are going to show it to you. But first, what actually is Inferno? I mean, we talked about it. We talked about how crazy rare it is and everything like that, but what is it? So, Inferno is a Python Anghelo creation. It was a 1985 game, and it is displayed in isometric format and played with 2 joysticks clocked at 45 degrees. It was implemented on Williams System 6 hardware, which is what they used for Turkey Shoot and Mystic Marathon and Joust 2. And it seems about 50 uprights were made and 50 kits. And these all were probably part of a trial run. The upright units that were shipped, the original PCBs, they all say Proto on the ROMs. And besides a couple notes in magazine, which all featured largely the same text, but I really wouldn't call it a flyer, this machine wasn't really advertised at all. No flyers, no big pressers, just sort of appeared, saw a few notes in Coinbox and Cashbox, and disappeared. But the sounds and theme for Inferno did live on in another Python creation, which was the pinball machine Grand Lizard. So Grand Lizard being the main enemy, which sits in the back of the playfield in Inferno and spawns all the various creatures that you must battle against in the dark forces of hell. So it's a kind of interesting departure from their usual theming of space or the oddball like Bubbles or Mystic Marathon. It was Williams' spooky game that wasn't Sinistar. So, being a connoisseur of spooky games, we were very excited to get our hands on Inferno. So, what was it actually like when we picked it up? Not gonna lie, Inferno was rough. The monitor and the TMNT PCB did work, but that was about it. The original power supply type, not the original numbers matching one, was present, did not work. The AC harness was the only original part other than the monitor and the power brick that was there and not hacked up. The cabinet itself was chipped, the bottom was planking, the coin vault door ripped off. It was just an absolute mess. I'll put some footage from when we picked it up, but it was probably one of the worst cabinets that we have received here. But it shaped up beautifully. So how did we fix that? It was a long process. It was the subject of a long thread on Klov, multiple pages at this point now, and many mistakes, many lessons were had along the way, and some successes. It looks pretty good now, but boy, was it a road to get there. So, how'd we start? We started by tearing it completely down. There was nothing of the artwork. Nothing left to save. Stripped everything out of it, tore it down to bare wood, and then tore it down further. sanded it down completely. And when we did, the extent of the wood damage was visible. Chipping on the sides, missing chunks. I had to reconstruct an entire corner of the cabinet with Bondo. But first, with those little peeling chunks of wood, what you've got to do is super glue it all down. Because if you don't, and you Bondo it, those chunks will still peel off and you'll be left with holes in the cabinet. So super glued everything, wedged it down, clamped it down, and put huge gobs of Bondo on the bottom of the cabinet. Then sanded it down, rinse and repeat until there was a nice feathering that I could be proud of. That was days worth of work. But in the end, it looked pretty good for a bare plywood cabinet, which led into painting. Now, remember we said we picked this up in October, so it was a race against time to paint the cabinet before it got too cold to paint the cabinet, and I'd have to wait until spring. And since it is February now, obviously, I succeeded. Yay. So what happened? Well, Inferno was painted black originally. That was oil-based paint. Inferno Williams used oil-based paint for all their games. So our best option was Rust-Oleum, satin black paint, and we used spray cans at first. And that took way more than I thought. So it ended up taking more than a dozen cans of Rust-Oleum satin black spray paint to do the base coat, because I would do a very light coat, sand it with like 800 grit to make it level, do another coat, sand, trying to fill in all the little tiny cracks caused by the planking of the cabinet. And eventually got a base coat that I liked, although we had to battle some things like dripping of paint and little weirdness like that. But eventually, nice and smooth. And to give it a nice mirror sheen like the originals had, we did a final HVLP coating with canned Rust-Oleum oil base. We got that from Sherwin-Williams, and it turned out pretty okay. I mean, there were a few spots I didn't like, but it was nothing that was going to stop me from just calling it good, because I knew that if I went back and sanded it down again at that point, I would be very sad. So then came artwork and putting it all together. Now, Inferno's artwork was not stenciled. It was the only cabinet that Williams made that wasn't a stencil for a dedicated. It was actually silkscreened, a generic Williams Exploding Rocks silkscreened art package that was on the side of Inferno. Now, obviously, I don't have the ability to silkscreen it, so we had to go with a reproduction sticker, but it actually came out really nice, and this was from Escape Pod. They had scanned a piece, which I assume was from conversion artwork, for Inferno. Yes, there were 50 kits, I think I mentioned that earlier. But I noticed one tiny difference between kit artwork and the official side art on Inferno is that one rock was missing, one tiny little pebble. Nobody would notice that but me, but notice it I did. And I had a whole little debate about myself, like, do I use this side art with the missing pebble, or do I just wait and do something else? What do I do? I think I eventually reached the consensus that I was overreacting and that the missing pebble was not a make it or break it. So we put it on and it looks great. You know, again, nobody would notice this but me, because I'm a huge nerd, but I was really happy with it. I mean, it was die cut and everything. It wasn't just like a square like the original conversion kit artwork was. This is far superior quality than the kit artwork. So very happy with that. And then it was PCB time. So we got a Joust 2 PCB. Inferno did have its own unique PCB, but that is many money that I don't have. So Joust 2 PCB it was, because that's much more easy to find. Joust 2 can be converted to Inferno with a few simple instructions, like burning, I think it's 16 ROMs, and putting a couple of RAM chips in, extra 6116 RAM, and then swapping 3 jumpers. And in theory, you got an Inferno. In theory, it did not turn into practice for us because things happen, as things always do. I messed up once following the instructions, swapped a jumper, W1, on the wrong board. Turns out there are 2 W1s. Oops. Didn't actually do anything because that didn't matter for Inferno, but that was something to be careful of if you are considering doing an Inferno. The other things that happened were bad ROMs and bad ROM sockets. Some combination of the both left a weird bit of garbage in the middle of the screen that I could not get rid of, but I could manipulate by touching the ROMs. Turned out it was not only bad ROM sockets, but bad ROMs. Both of them were contributing to the garbage. So replace the sockets, replace the ROMs, and finally we had a working Inferno PCB. Or so I thought. Turns out the audio section was also screwed up, so I had to fix the amplifier. And then finally, we had a working Inferno PCB. So where'd that leave us? I had a PCB, had a monitor, had a cabinet, started putting things back together. And then it became time to build a harness. Now, I am absolutely anal about harnessing, so we went ahead and got a ton of wire following all the original Williams factory colors, all the correct connectors, and tried to put together a matching harness using reference pictures from an original cabinet, and I think it came out pretty well. The only difference I did versus an original cabinet is I decided that I liked the lit start buttons on other Williams games, so I ran an extra 6.3 VAC line from the power supply to the control panel and put a set of lights under the start lamps, which I think were pretty good. And then fixed the power supply, and then it was control panel time. Now the control panel for Inferno is different than Joust. The cabinet is not the same as Joust 2. That question comes up a lot. And there's a lot of connections. That control panel harness took an entire day, just because there are 4 joysticks with 4 switches each, plus 5 volt and ground, and the trigger switches and the start buttons, and it took a while just to get everything right and all the connectors to make it easily serviceable, but I was very pleased with that. I did eventually make the decision to bondo the control panel and fix all the Swiss cheese holes. I was struggling with that for a bit. I figured it would be hidden by the plate, but it was best to do it, so I did it. The other thing that was necessary was replacing the original plate. So this is my first time ever. I sended something. Designed replacements for the control panel plate and the PCB plate. I got help from Brad Riddell, helped me out with the PCB plate. I could not have done that without you, so thank you. Actually, huge shout out to Brad in general for helping me with Inferno on so many levels, from advice to fixing the PCB plate measurements and ROM labels and just discussion of where things go and images of his cabinet. So many, many thanks to you, Brad. This cabinet would not be living without you. And then got those plates from Send Cut Send, and they fit. I was very pleased. The only trouble I had was with the PCB plate. I misplaced one pin and I had to knock it out, but I used the plate as is, so that was fine. And then assembly. It was perfectly functional without the CPO, and I'll show what happened with the CPO in a bit. That was another mistake, but I am very pleased. And there was one more bonus surprise that came with Inferno, or came to us for Inferno. Another friend of mine, who shall not be named unless he chooses to make himself known, supplied us with an original Inferno marquee, a very rare piece for which we are very, very grateful. So to my friend, who know who you are, our undying thanks for lending us your marquee for this cabinet. I truly appreciate it, because the reproduction marquees just aren't as good as the original one. They let too much light through, I think. So having an original for an original cabinet just makes the world. And we took that marquee and scraped off all the gunk that was on the front very carefully. That was a multi-hour process, but I think it came out great. So without further ado, let's look at the cabinet. All right, here is Inferno in all its glory, completely redone. Let's start from the top, I guess, and go all the way down. So starting from top, we've got the original Inferno marquee installed in the cabinet. Thank you again to our friend who provided us with this to complete this build. I really appreciate you. We've got the wood panels for the speaker and the backing. These were both repainted, sanded down, and redone. The glass bezel, this is actually the original glass for the machine. The operator that had converted it to TMNT scraped off all the artwork. So we redid the art with a reverse mount kit from Escape Pod, which turned out great. Control panel was done with Bondo, a new plate that I ordered, and a CPO from Galloping Ghost, who I thank them as well tremendously because they really helped refine the design to work with the dedicated control panel. I only screwed up by messing up the control panel and putting these countersinks not deep enough, so you can see some bumps in here, but eventually when we get real joysticks, we'll go ahead and fix that and redo the whole thing. But for now, it looks fine, so I'm very happy with the cabinet overall. Moving down further, the control panels, not the control panel, the coin doors, both of them were taken off and redone. The coin vault door had been ripped off when we got it, so reattached at the hinge, painted both of them, put them back together, fixed all the wiring. Also fixed the front of the cabinet because it had been planking extensively, so this all got sanded down, filled in, and repainted as well. As for the sides, it got the sand down and repaint treatment, as well as the die cut artwork from Escape Pod, which again, I'm very happy with. It looks very, very nice. So I think the cabinet on the outside is in pretty good shape, but how about the inside? Let's take a look. So on the back here, you got our serial numbers, and this all got painted as well. So let's take a look-see inside the cabinet. First off, remove the back door. Got our monitor there. This neck board is so close to the back door, but I guess they designed it with enough tolerance that they didn't need a bubble. Undo the latches, and inside we have the board set. Here, I can take that. And the board set is Joust 2, as before, but we've got the little Inferno proto-ROMs. Thanks, Brad, for supplying us with these labels. And the wiring harness, as best I could, I replicated the original Williams wiring colors. So the only differences between this harness and the original harness are that I added a remote battery backup. So from here to there, I've got a little AA battery pack that just sits towards the front so I can replace it easily if I need to. And I also wired AC power to the control panel for the lights underneath the start buttons. But other than that, all the original wiring grommets, all the original wiring colors, everything as Williams would have done it. So very, very pleased. The AC harness in here is also original to the cabinet. They didn't seem to hack that up that much. So it got left as is, as well as the bottom control panel plate. Memory protect interlock and coin door interlock were both there. Did have to add the coin tubes. Those were missing, but luckily we were able to get those on Kalov. So very happy with that. And yeah, let's see. Let's see their serial badge again right there. So all in all, very happy with the interior of this cabinet as well. So yeah, let's get on to gameplay. All right, let's show some two-player gameplay. Ready? Mm-hmm. Prepare to defend thyself. So we're going to start by trying to kill all these little orc creatures. I forget their actual names. You can kill each other, as I accidentally killed Sam, but you don't lose a life if your partner kills you. You just respawn. All right, let's see. Let's get one of these guys to go back up. This guy looks like he's going to go for it, so I'm going to go. Went too fast. Killed him before you killed him before you could get into the mouth. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you probably just saved me from death, actually.
That was obviously what I did on purpose.
You can see that Inferno is really pushing the hardware to the limits, and this will become more evident later because it slows down when there's too much stuff going on the screen. Alright, come on. You have to follow one of the red guys into the mouth. Oop, there you go. Alright, Inferno wave. Let's see how many of these guys we can kill. Oh. Seems like we both lose a life here. What a mean little demon. Alright. Cocoon wave. Gotta get some extra life here. They don't do anything, they don't move when they're in their cocoons, but once the cocoon melts off their faces, they can start to shoot at you.
What are the angels doing again?
The angel, if you go over there and you have a soul accrued, they will distract enemies as they fly across the screen. Oh crap, I left a purple one. I don't think we can get the Inferno wave here unless we're super quick. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Alright, now we just need to get extra life.
Sorry.
You're good, you're good. Just kill that one. Yes! Nice. Alright, Tankovs, you have to shoot the treads from the level below and the head from the level that they're on. So you just got the treads, so now we have to shoot. It's okay. Somehow that didn't take a life from you, so you're good.
I'll take it. Maybe I guess I killed them just like right before.
I think this game does not, oh wow, look how much it's slowing down. This game doesn't actually seem to take a life if you complete the level in the action that takes the life.
That's convenient.
There are 2 Tankovs sitting up there,
Sorry.
so just watch out for them.
Sorry.
Alright, let me go back over there again. I'm trying to go for that Inferno wave. Oh, come on. Why did they all go over there?
Oh, nice job, honey. You got it.
Oh, come on!
One's coming towards you.
Let me in! Extra life. Alright, so this is probably going to spawn a gazillion of these guys.
Can I continue play?
You can if you'd like. Just press 2-player start.
Yeah! Look at me!
Alright. Wave 6. I think the next wave is the Boombird wave.
We're getting to like the farthest I've ever been. That's rude. If they can shoot down.
Yeah. The Tankovs can anyway. Oh, that's it for me. I'm just gonna continue because I want to show the Boombird.
Yeah.
So this game should not count for high schoolers, hopefully.
Haha! Got him.
Ah.
Shoot.
We are really dying all over the place here.
Yep.
You can intercept their shots.
To be fair, that's like the farthest. I have not ever played this far, so
Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
If I get anywhere close to my high score, I'm just going to start dying because I don't want to put a high score to continue. And oh my god, I have never managed to kill all of them without
What's your high score again?
290.
Yeah.
So
Boombird!
I'm just going to die after this level. Or I'll die on this level. It's cool that the shadow of the Boombird is just a skull. Let's see if I can show the trick to kill him. If he comes down here,
How do you kill him?
you have to go up the stairs
Uh-huh. And then shoot.
and shoot down immediately.
Oh.
There we go. I killed him, but I died immediately.
Nice.
And that's it for me.
Good job.
Game over. I'm just gonna...
Oh, I guess yeah, I will.
Yeah.
How do I not do it?
Just
Zeros?
yeah, just 0.
Cool. Good shooting.
Good shooting. Well, but I'm just not going to count blank scores.
Cool.
So, that's Inferno's gameplay. What do you think?
I think you did a fantastic job. I think we're extremely lucky to have this very rare game in our collection. I know that, like, when you first realized that you could get this, you were freaking out because you're like, they don't exist. There's like 4 of them. We could never play them.
It had been on the list, and I always thought we were just going to build one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think that a real cabinet would ever turn up.
Yeah, exactly. And like even when we played it at Galloping Ghost, it was like the joysticks were the right joysticks, but they were like held on with like
screws, weird screws.
Yeah, but they were like
rotating.
a little sketchy, so I feel like we didn't even get the full.
And the sound didn't work there either.
Yeah, so I think like obviously we don't have the proper joysticks right now, but I still think like
wanted
this
dead
is
or
super
alive.
fun to play, and I'm definitely not a pro yet. Don't know if I'll ever be, but I think it's fun how it kind of mixes like the isometric views of like Crystal Castles and like I don't know. It just has good vibes. And
Yeah,
it's very
I love
pretty.
the spookiness.
Mm-hmm.
I love
we love
the
our
spooky games. It'd be
horror-
great for Halloween parties.
Yeah, exactly. I still think we should do like some sort of like Inferno mural over our fireplace in the pool room. That'd be fun.
I think that would really match. I love the artwork on here. Python did a great job.
Yeah. I think the little snake is very cute.
Yeah.
And the little... Okay, that would also be a good Halloween costume. We could do what's it called? A couple's costume.
Who gets to be
I don't know too. How would we have you shoot flame? What if we put a flamethrower in the eye?
You know, we had a puppet that could do that.
Yeah, that'd be a great Halloween outfit.
I'm sure having a flamethrower in front of your face is not a hazard in any way.
Or I could be this angel who still creeps me out because she has like no arms and she just has like wings. That would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she creeps me out because she reminds me of the Doctor Who.
Weeping Angels?
Weeping Angels.
It reminds me of Terry Gilliam's Brazil character.
Brazil!
But yeah, no, I think this machine has come out fantastically. I'm really, really happy to have it in our lineup. And now, for future plans,
more Williams.
More Williams. Joysticks, but also more Williams. Because now we've got this nice Williams row. It's starting to actually be a row. So we need more Williams games to add to it. I'm thinking Star Rider, Blaster. Long Shot. Just manifest some games.
Yeah, exactly.
Joust 2.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that William likes Williams games.
They're just so good.
They are very good. And you like the cabinets.
The cabinets
and they do look
really well.
very pretty next to each other.
Yeah.
Especially this one. I feel like literally this side paint, I don't know if you can see it on camera in this video, but like it is so perfect. Like Liam did such a good job. Like he was so meticulous about it in our like secondary workshop. He was just like, no, needs another layer. Like until it's like it literally looks perfection, like it came out of the factory. It's crazy. It looks so good. Yeah, it looks mint. We just need the right joysticks. But even like again, I think this is very serviceable.
Getting really close to that start
it's
button.
Very. Do these light up?
Yeah, they do light up. I put bulbs under them.
Why are they not lit up?
They are lit up. They're just very dim because these are reproduction buttons that are opaque.
Oh my god, you are not lying, but that is... that does not look lit up. It looks like the plastic is shiny and the lights are like reflecting off of it, and that's the lumosity of...
Thanks, hon, for the vote of confidence.
Sorry. Well, everything else is very pretty. I love this. I love this. This is my favorite. I don't know why. I'm just obsessed. This is very pretty. I didn't realize it was gonna look like this, even though it's there too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like kind of obsessed. I don't know. I want it somewhere else.
I just like the geometry of it. It's really good. Anyway,
Isometric BB.
I'm hoping you guys had as much fun looking at Inferno and watching gameplay as I had putting it together. We're really, really pleased to be custodians of this game for the time that we've got it, and which is hopefully forever. I'm never going to get rid of this. But yeah, we're just super, super thrilled to have this in our collection, and I hope that other people will be able to come here in the future and play this thing and enjoy it. I'm just glad that another one has been brought back from the dead.
Yes.
So
A zombie.
zombie game. So till next time, thank you so much for watching.
Like and subscribe to Retrobodics. Bye.